Good morning on what is a bright, warm and slightly breezy day. It is Wednesday, July the 6th, and I'm in the Requiem Nook with a nice hot cup of tea and box to continue going through. Now I've already pulled out a number of items from this box, including the Homeward Revelations Quick Start and the third issue of Level 1. So what these have in common is Free RPG Day, which took place on June 25th in the US and takes place on July 23rd for international gamers, which is why I have all of these, and I'm doing a preview of the contents of this box and what's available on the day. And the next thing I am pulling out is the Free RPG Day 22 adventure for the Iron Kingdoms from Privateer Press. This is a Strange Light Breaks. Now, this is the latest iteration of the Iron Kingdom setting, which is probably best known as a wargame setting, with each side fielding various forces, trolls, elves, and other things, but most notably giant steamjacks, which are sort of like magically powered, and it originally appeared, the setting originally appeared, the Iron Kingdoms appeared in the early noughties as a trilogy, Witchfire trilogy of scenarios for Dungeons & Dragons 3rd edition. Got its own role-playing game roughly 10 years ago or so, approximately, before returning to Dungeons & Dragons more recently as a 5th edition compatible setting. And this is what this scenario is for. So, here's what's on the back, and it says, "What strangeness from yonder shadow stirs? Enter the rarely explored world of paranormal investigation in Nine Kingdoms in a Strange Light Breaks. This adventure follows a team of Strange Light Workshop field agents through a series of gigs for an eccentric senior agent, one whose familiarity with the supernatural is greater than his role requires. A Strange Light Breaks is set in the Iron Kingdoms, a world where magic and technology come together and where bizarre perils lurk around every corner." So, sounds intriguing, nice cover. And you've got some kind of trollish creature on the back. So, or trollish or goblin creature. So, this adventure is designed for 3 to 7 1st to 4th level characters and is optimised for 5 characters with an average of party level of 1. And you've got a basic bit of a background there, telling the referee where it is set. Get everyone set up for that. We get into background, adventure hooks, and so on. Getting the characters involved, and I've got a bit of background there about the Iron Kingdoms. So, and it's a 3-part scenario. Essentially, the Strange Light Workshop is the foremost independent institution in the Iron Kingdoms dedicated to the study of the supernatural phenomenon. Founded by the eccentric Jacob Strathmore to observe, catalogue and respond to all manner of paranormal entities, the workshop is spread to each of the nations of humanity, with branch offices appearing in major cities across the continent. So essentially what you have is an agency within the setting, which allows the player characters the means to go off and investigate the weird and strange, without just being some random sort of like nosy Parkers. And that's all well and good, that works, that gives us sort of like a bit of background, and even we've got a nice bit of sort of like setup with a job board. The player characters can be ripping the jobs off and taking off and doing those, but then we get into the main job itself. Now the layout is clean and tidy, but it's not a particularly interesting layout. I mean, there's a nice bit of artwork there, but it seems strangely out of context. You don't know what that's about, obviously, and essentially. What's interesting is that it's set up as essentially a series of gigs. So you've got 1, 2, 3 gigs, essentially those jobs coming off the jobs board, and the player characters going off and investigating. So they go to a gunworks, and then basically to sort of like a dense residential area at 210 Aurora Street, No maps so far, but you know, basically, obviously, the dungeon master can handle that in the part of her descriptions, and I'm presuming that's sort of like the part of the ghostly phenomenon that they encounter there. And the third gig is into the docks, the Red Mare of Limegate. So, oh yeah, here we have Appendix A. So actually, so essentially, the adventure itself is really just that. Just the first half of this booklet, which is 20 pages in length. So we have the actual maps of the Branston Gunworks, and then Aurora Street, where the third gig takes place. So that's the first one. The second one, sorry, yeah, first one, definitely second one. Yep. And then we have the site of the third gig. Obviously, it says ambush. The pack character's going to get ambushed. Whoops, bit of a spoiler. Before we have the sort of the final denouement located there. Pretty much sort of like plain maps, but they're workable. You know, you basically bring, if you've got your miniatures there, you can bring those into play, or you can just put this out on the table and go in, and you know, put some markers down and so on. And then the following Appendix B is the following creatures appear in strange like bricks. So we have gremlins. Of course, it seems perfectly normal that wherever you have machinery of any type, you have gremlins. So literally gremlins in the works, and you can see essentially they're not trollish. These are gremlins on the back. So singular gremlin, and then swarms of gremlins, gremlin machines, and so on. And then the encounters at the second and third gig, including Headless John, bandits and thugs at the third gig, and then an NPC there. And lastly, we've got the tools and strange like workshop. So, you know, that's anti-spectral ammunition, hostile encounters, suit, charged gauntlets, Luma type handheld. So, you know, basically there we go, we've got the Luma type handhold. Strange light goggles and so on. So in a ways, what we have in, and then we've got an image of what they look like, and what we have here is that in the organisation, in the player characters being members of the Strange Light Workshop, is actually, this is ghost busting Iron Kingdom style, and that's which is no bad thing. You know, that can be fun to play. And then we've got Gab at the back there, and presumably hopefully there's some download characters you can get to try this, or if you've got if you've got the core rules, that will work too. So of the books, we have the campaign setting there, the Monster Nomicon, which is the monster book, and the Legend of the Witchfire there. Now, obviously, campaign setting. Basically, I've got the books from the third edition. Really like them. Monster Nomicon was one of the really thematically fun and entertaining monster books of the period, and the Witchfire trilogy was actually a really decent scenario, which I would actually love to really play or run at some point if I could persuade some players. But anyway, that is A Strange Light Breaks, which is the Iron Kingdom's adventure from Privateer Press for Free RPG Day 2022. So hopefully you will be able to pick this up on the day at your nearest local friendly gaming store, or get a friend to get it. But yeah, I hope you have fun on the day. In the meantime, I hope you have enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please click on the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you taking the time to post those. And penultimately, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me out here with a box and a book or game which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge, roughly for about 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do hit that subscribe button. Lastly, I want to thank David Salisbury at Fanboy3, without whom I would not be able to do these unboxings and the subsequent reviews of all of these titles. So thank you, David. Thank you for providing these to me. I really do appreciate your generosity. And of course, there will be the requisite cake when I'm in Fanboy3 in Manchester. And if you are in Manchester and you are on the lookout for a good gaming store, then I absolutely recommend Fanboy3. Really good store, lots of things, really good for your board games, shelves upon shelves of board games, and it really does have a really good stock of role-playing games too. In the meantime, okay, thanks for watching another unboxing of the Nook. I'll be back again soon. Bye for now.